Venice Hendricks. Even her name sounded dangerous, like a whispered threat in a crowded room. She moved through life draped in silk and defiance, her scarlet lipstick a badge of her war against men.
Men are weak, easily manipulated, tools to be used and discarded.
And she used them masterfully. Behind the carefully crafted persona of a successful businesswoman, Venice harbored a secret life, a life she kept hidden from her traditional church-going mother.
I just hope you find a nice man to settle down with, dear.
While her mother envisioned her daughter settling down with a nice man, Venice sought solace in the arms of other women. These relationships weren't about love, they were about power, a validation of her belief that women were superior in every way.
Each man I destroy is just another battle won, another scar on my soul that I wear with twisted pride.
But Venice was blind to the hypocrisy of her own life. She craved control, dominance over the very people she claimed were beneath her. They were drawn to her like moths to a flame, weak men hungry for the attention of a woman as striking and confident as Venice. They never stood a chance.
She made me feel special, like I was the only one in the world.
She would shower them with affection, whisper words of adoration, all the while weaving her web of manipulation. They would empty their bank accounts, betray their friends, all for a taste of her poisonous love.
I thought she was my muse. I painted her portrait 100 times.
There was Richard, the struggling artist who believed she was his muse. He painted her portrait 100 times, each stroke fueled by his infatuation while she drained his meager finances. Then there was Michael, the timid accountant who risked his career, embezzling funds to support her lavish lifestyle.
I risked everything for her and she just watched me fall.
Venice watched their descent with cold detachment. Their pain was irrelevant, their destruction a testament to her power. But Venice reserved a special kind of venom for the men who dared to love her genuinely. Men who saw past her carefully constructed facade and glimpsed the scared, insecure girl hiding beneath.
I loved her truly, but she pushed me away.
These men she pushed away with brutal efficiency. Their love threatened her carefully crafted narrative. They were a danger to her illusion of invincibility. And then there was Carl. A whisper in the shadows, a force of nature disguised as a man. No one knew where he came from or what motivated him. He moved with a quiet confidence that unsettled Venice.
I see through your charade, Venice. Your armor is paper-thin.
Carl was a mystery, an enigma shrouded in an aura of calm power. Unlike Venice, who reveled in her cruelty, Carl was driven by a deep sense of justice. He had seen the devastation she left in her wake, the shattered lives of the men she used and discarded.
I know your game, Venice, but I also see a flicker of something else within you.
He knew her game, understood the depths of her darkness, but he also sensed a flicker of something else within her, a flicker of humanity that even she didn't seem to recognize. Carl knew he couldn't fight fire with fire. Venice thrived on chaos, on the drama she created.
I won't become another victim of your manipulations. I'll disarm you with faith.
He needed to disarm her, to expose her vulnerabilities without becoming another victim of her manipulations. His approach was unorthodox, unexpected. He chose faith as his weapon, his beliefs a stark contrast to Venice's cynical worldview. Section 4. The prayer that shattered her world. It happened on a Friday, the day Venice had planned to ensnare her next victim, a young, wealthy heir to a tech fortune. She was at her most radiant, her laughter echoing through the opulent hotel lobby, her eyes glittering with predatory hunger. But as she went in for the kill, a hush fell over the room. Carl stood there, his presence commanding attention. He didn't raise his voice, didn't need to. He simply began to pray. His words were in Arabic, a language foreign to most in the room, but the power of his conviction transcended language. He prayed for Venice, his voice resonating with a strength that shook her to her core. He prayed for her victims, for healing and justice. The air crackled with an energy that sent chills down everyone's spines. Venice stumbled back, her carefully crafted composure crumbling. The lights flickered, plunging the room into momentary darkness. When the lights returned, the fear in Venice's eyes was palpable. Carl's prayer, a simple act of faith, had shattered her defenses, exposing the scared girl hiding beneath the mask. Section 5. Picking up the pieces. The days that followed were a blur for Venice. The walls she had so carefully erected around herself crumbled. The men she had hurt, emboldened by Carl's intervention, came forward, their stories painting a damning picture of her cruelty. Her carefully constructed world, her empire of lies, collapsed around her like a house of cards. She tried to disappear, to run from the consequences of her actions, but Carl's prayer had changed something. It was as if a fog had lifted, revealing the path she had been on, the destruction she had wrought.
Softly, for the first time, I felt the weight of my actions, the pain I had inflicted. The guilt was a living thing, suffocating me.
The women she'd used, their trust betrayed, turned their backs on her. Her mother, heartbroken and disillusioned, finally saw her daughter for who she truly was.
Sorrowfully, Venice, how could you?
Venice was alone, stripped bare of her armor, her power, her carefully constructed persona. She was just Venice, a deeply flawed woman facing the consequences of her choices. Section 6. The Saviour's Shadow. Carl vanished as quickly as he'd appeared. Some whispered that he was an angel, sent to deliver Venice from herself. Others claimed he was just a man, albeit one with an extraordinary gift. Whatever the truth, his impact on Venice's life was undeniable. He had seen the darkness within her and met it not with anger or judgment, but with compassion.
Reflective. I never fully recovered from the events of that night. The echoes of Carl's prayer continued to haunt me, a constant reminder of the woman I had been and the woman I could still become.
She dedicated her life to atoning for her past, seeking forgiveness from those she had wronged. She embraced her sexuality, no longer using it as a weapon, but as a source of strength and connection.
Determined. My story became a cautionary tale, a reminder that even in the pursuit of equality, cruelty and manipulation are never the answer.
It served as a testament to the power of redemption, the idea that even in the darkest of hearts a flicker of hope can still exist, and sometimes all it takes is a single act of faith to fan that flicker into a flame.